Hi, Stel. Thanks for coming to my show. Thanks for accepting to be on my YouTube channel and podcast.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
So I've gone through your profile and I came to know that you are CEO and founder and also a cloud architect of Cloudway. So I
That
thought
is
to tell
correct.
about. So I thought to tell about you and the work that you are doing, and also the previous works that you did, and how it helped you to do the work that you are doing today. So I thought to tell about this.
Yep. I started Cloudway 5 years ago together with my colleague Jan Ketil Skanke, and our focus in Cloudway is we actually have a slogan where we say that secure productivity happens in the cloud. We will help you on your way, and our focus is Microsoft 365. And I'm very proud to say that today, 5 years later, we can do everything within Microsoft 365. So we're really deep in productivity, really deep in teams, really deep in security, identity, and endpoint management. And we're really, really deep in compliance as well, which is the whole breadth of Microsoft 365. A bit about me. My name is Ståle Hansen, and I started back in my professional career. I started back in 2006 as a Microsoft consultant. That's what I did. My background is I actually worked in sales, in retail sales for computers and mobile devices and so on. So back in the days, I sold the Nokia 3310. You may not have heard about it, but it was the most robust phone ever. Like, people are still missing it today. And it had Snake, and when you dropped it on the floor, it like broke in a million pieces, but it didn't like die like phones do today if you drop them in the floor. So those were the good times. Before that, I'm educated as a Bachelor of Computer Science, so that's my background. What I found in 2009, I started blogging and outsourcing my memory. And that's really when my career started to move faster, because I didn't have to remember everything and I didn't have to forget everything. At the same time, I could outsource my memory, the findings, my learnings to a blog. And when I had some similar issues as a consultant, I would just go to my blog and step on my own shoulders, really, and start from where I left off half a year ago or maybe a year ago. And based on that activity, I became a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional in 2011. And here I am today.
So why Cloudway? What made you to start this, and where this idea came from?
The reason for Cloudway is that I wanted to build a high-performing team of passionate individuals for technology. And I believe also you can do that across borders. Find people where they are and build a modern team, a distributed team, because we are 10 people in Cloudway today, but we are based in 5 countries. And we need to find people for where they are, and we cannot expect to find the same type of resources with the same skill level locally in our area, especially in Norway, in Oslo, where I am based. There is a limited set of available resources. That's the idea, really, to build a team of passionate individuals from where they are, and that's our model in Cloudway.
So what services you are providing through Cloudway?
So we have 4 types of services, really. We do workshops. We are evangelists. We love teaching. We love sharing knowledge. We love removing blockers for our customers and partners, really. So we run a lot of workshops, 1-day workshops, 3-day workshops, and so on. The next step of that is assessment. So we do Microsoft 365 assessments, like what's your status today? Where should you go from here, based on both what you told us through the assessment and also what we see in your environment, and we'll give you actions that you can do to improve your environment. Then we do proof of concepts. So we implement the technology over 1 to 5 days for you to get started with technology, test a feature. If it's in cloud, if it's in hybrid, doesn't really matter, so that you can get started in validating and see if it's something you want to move forward with. And then we do traditional implementation projects. Implement the technology over those projects last from 3 days till like 40 days or even more, depending on what kind of technology and how deep we are within the project. We are both hands-on, so we are implementing the technology, but we are also technical project managers and trainers, and we do competency transfer, and we also do deep dive troubleshooting.
So I can understand you started this before 5 years.
Yeah, we started 5 years ago, correct.
So what are the projects that you did? And I can understand you are into 5 countries.
Yeah, our primary market though is Norway, since that's where I'm from. That's where our biggest network is, and we just onboarded 3 resources in the UK the past like half a year to year, and we are not limited to those markets. Norway, Sweden, Finland, Ireland, and UK where we are, but that's majority of our customers are in Norway, but as we are a architect team, we are principal architects and senior architects and so on. So we can go into like any high performing team and help them out. So we work with large global customers. We work with governments. We work with public sector and private sector. So we don't have any limitations to who we work with. We have customers in the US, we have customers in the UK, Ireland, Finland, Sweden, and Norway, and also in Europe.
So I can see you are also a RD and Microsoft MVP. So how is that?
That's awesome. So as a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional MVP, I am that for like 11 years now. So it's quite some time, and that is based on the passion you have for technology, public speaking, sharing in blogs, social media like LinkedIn and Twitter primarily. And I also have a YouTube channel where I talk about Microsoft 365 productivity. So it is about the community work you do and helping your peers and the community to understand Microsoft technology in a better way. Based on me being a CEO as well, with experience in senior leadership and talking to senior leadership and helping startups as a mentor and so on, I also became, about 2 years ago, I became a Microsoft Regional Director as well, which is kind of like an MVP just for senior leadership. So we are actually an extended part of the senior leadership team in Microsoft.
So how you are able to manage all these responsibilities? You started as a blogger, you started as creating content, putting yourself out and being passionate about technology. You did a bachelor's in computer science and engineering. How you built yourself and what is driving you?
It has to be passion. Your work has to be your hobby in order to do that. You need to, and as I notice as well, even though I'm the CEO, I am driving the company, I'm also still 100% hands-on, 100% out there and helping customers, because that's my feedback loop. That's where my energy comes in. So when I feel that I'm getting like tired and yeah, you are feeling you are being drained of energy, what I do, post something on social media, make a blog post, make a YouTube video or something like that, because then I get like the helper's high, the positive feedback loop from helping other people, which means that that gives me energy and it keeps me going. That's why I love to have a job that helps me do lots of different things One day I'm speaking, other day I'm running a full day workshop, another day I'm traveling. Lately I got invited to talk at a conference in Orlando, which is my favorite vacation spot, by the way. And I flew over there, did some session, met people in person for once, and then the other times I'm like deep into technology. I'm scripting, I'm troubleshooting, so doing a bit of everything. That is what works for me.
So you're talking with computer, you're talking with application software as well as a consultant. You are interacting with customers, clients, and listening to the requirements and what they need from the technology. So you understand the business side of the technology, and also you understand the communication language of computer.
Yeah, that's one of my strengths, really, that I can combine technology deep understanding with business requirements, so that we can make sure that everyone understands why they want to have the technology, not just that they should have the technology. There's a difference between that. You shouldn't just implement technology or do technology for technology's sake, even though I love that. That's fun, right? But you also need to find like the KPIs, how to make sure it's anchored within the business, so that they make the correct decisions, really, and implement it the correct way, and commit to implementing the technology the correct way. And especially with Microsoft 365, it's very easy to get stuck in just having access to the technology, but you also need to think about what you're going to use it, how you need to change in order to use it the correct way, and make sure that it's equally a top-down as a bottom-up approach in order to succeed with the technology.
You are a leader now. You're leading the team and you're making projects work. You're making things work. So tell me, you as a cloud architect.
As a cloud architect, I make sure that in a complex environment, all the activities are thought about, because Microsoft 365 is really complex, especially when you combine it with a very static on-premises environment in a hybrid environment. And there are a lot of moving components. With my experience, especially as a consultant for Skype for Business, which is a very infrastructure intense application, which means that I have had a lot of overview of firewalls, networks, everything that needs to be open, the different locations where you need to place hardware to make everything work. And it's very, very complex and utilize the whole infrastructure. So when moving from an on-premises environment, from servers to the cloud is a whole new world. It's evergreen. Everything is awesome. But you need to be able to then combine it with the static on-premises environments. And that's our job, really, as architects, to make sure that we think about everything in this and make the correct choices as well. That's also what we see is very important. One thing is knowing that you're going to the cloud or use cloud technology. Another thing is to know which part of it you're going to use and which direction you want to go, and how can you stretch your on-premises environment to the cloud. And there are multiple ways to do it, but what we have learned is that people who have been working on premises, they are very used to adjusting the technology to their needs. You can't do that with the cloud. You actually need to integrate with the way cloud is and is it intended. So maybe there are three ways of doing it, but there's only one correct way and one way that Microsoft is pointing at and developing further. So knowing that direction, which routes not to go down, which routes to really put the pressure on, and also help with the complex environment so that they can integrate cloud in a secure and compliant way. That's our role.
You took a big responsibility you decided to start a company and you put the name called Cloudway, and you you understand the cloud architecture, and now you are a leader. So what you learned in this process after starting this?
First off, I could do it because of I'm not alone starting it though, because the only reason why I wanted to start Cloudway was if my wife could join me as taking care of the back end. She runs her own accounting firm and know everything about like the accounting part of running a business like that, so that I could focus on being a CEO, being onboarding new people, uh, making sure that we have enough business, and focus on what I knew best. So as a CEO, I do run the company, but we make sure we do everything by the book, correct, and I think that's one of the core reasons for success, that we were able to bring in that combination from the get-go, and we acted like an enterprise from the beginning. We didn't start with just doing accounting in Excel and so on. We did it in a proper tool. We scaled for growth immediately, and then that's one of my recommendations if you are to start a company, is to make sure you have that part covered. If I were to do like all that and be an architect, a CEO, a salesperson, marketing, and a deep dive troubleshooter, and a social media enthusiast, I would probably have burned out a long time ago, because I had to focus on stuff I knew very well, but I also had to focus on stuff I didn't know, and the part that didn't know, that would probably be too much of a burden for me. So that's part of my success.
So being in Cloudway, do you have any particular experience that you cannot forget?
Lots. That's a wide question, I would say. I think what I've been learning lately, I think the way I have changed as a leader over time is to become more empathic, an empathic leader. And I believe that's the modern way of being a leader today, is to be an empathic leader. What does that mean? It means that you are here to take care of your employees. You're here to remove blockers for employees. I think I had that thinking from the get-go. That was my plan, that I could help remove blockers for my employees, make sure they are the best version of themselves. But together with, now that Microsoft has launched Microsoft Viva, which focuses on employee experience, I've been working a lot with that and looking into empathic leadership together with that. And I've come to understand that importance of bringing in that passion and enabling that passion, and making sure people are pointed in a direction where they want to go, and not force them to go in a direction they don't want to go, or like, yeah, this is your job, you need to do it. It's more like, okay, what do you want to do, and how can we make sure you do more of it? That's I think is the biggest takeaway during these 5 years, to become even more empathic. And a result of that is that we started with a 4-day work week in Cloudway. So in Norway, it's normal to have a 5-day work week, 40-hour week. And in August 2021, we started with it's not really a 4-day work week. It's more like the Friday is reserved for you to evolve yourself. You are still at work, but you're doing what you want to do, cleaning up your mailbox, organizing your tasks, reading up on material. And Cloudway is also a 100% MVP company. So all of the employees are MVPs in Cloudway, and all of them are social media enthusiasts and influencers. They are bloggers, speakers, and so on. And to use those Fridays to investigate new technologies, or prepare a talk, prepare a blog post. That is something we have done lately based on a more empathic approach. That part of Cloudway has always been available, but people, the employees, have not always understood that it was available in terms of finding the time to do your own things. It's because we are very focused on reaching our goals and invoicing and so on. So I think that's the biggest change I've done in the 5 years.
So communicating with computer and solving the problems, finding the errors, fixing it is something that is connected with you. But connecting with human beings and talking with them and like being empathetic and also trying to fulfill their requirements and needs. How is this? How you made this possible? You are also a public speaker.
Yeah, I think you just need to master one thing at a time. So don't try to master everything at the same time. And I always thought it was very fun. I was always good at troubleshooting computer issues from back in the 90s. But I've always been interested in personal growth and personal branding. And I've been doing that for 10 years. And now I'm ready to teach others to do it themselves and moving over to more the human to human side of things. Absolutely, as a speaker, as a leader, and as a blogger and social media enthusiast.
So how your blogging experience helped you to be a CEO of a company today?
The blogging experience helped me become a subject matter expert, which meant that I were able to work in large projects, make a difference in those different projects, and I became within the Microsoft environment and especially my focus area, which were back in the days were Sky for Business. I became one of the leading people for within that group in the world on that, which helped me build a brand, helped me build an identity for myself. And then back in, I think it was 2014, I started a company together, or a Norwegian branch of an existing company in Sweden. And we were quite successful on that by using people first, using the brand we had. But when that got bought up and management changed and the focus got different, I went and started Cloudway instead. And if you go to cloudway.com, you will see that it puts people first. It puts the employees first, their identity. So our focus is actually to build our employees' identity, their brand, before we build Cloudway. Because they have a better reach than what a company has. That's why we don't have a company blog, because we want to amplify your own blog. And it's much more fun. You're much more invested when you blog for yourself, blog and build your own brand, than indirectly building the company brand. That's a bonus. So yeah, I think that's the key takeaway there.
So you being the leader for the influencers and social media enthusiasts, and like you said, you give a lot of importance to the team that who are working for Cloudway. So how the projects that you are doing, the projects that you did, how those impacted technology world? What is world without with before? What is world before Cloudway and after Cloudway?
You mean the impact Cloudway can have on customers? I think we can have a huge impact. And the reason for that is our team is a diverse team, both in location, in culture, but also in gender. And also that we have our different areas. what's important for Cloudway is that we are not hiring out people like 100%, 2 years over there. We are architects and go into short-term projects, and we also always go in with the full team, which means that when you're using Cloudway, you're not just using me or my colleague. You're using me, and I will drag in my colleagues because they know stuff more better than me, especially when it in Microsoft 365. You're not just talking about productivity in teams. You're also talking about identity and security, device management and compliance, and no one has all the answers to those. So we are always go in with the team, which means that the time for the correct answer to how to move forward is very, very short. And that's how we make a difference when we are in projects.
So doing different projects in this 5 years of your Cloudway time. So how's this experience? What kind of projects that you did?
So we have helped a lot of different companies. I can't name them all. We have some on our website. We have the Norwegian digitization company. We have helped Equinor, which is Norway's biggest oil and gas company. And we have helped a lot of other global companies. And we because of security reasons as well, I cannot mention all of them, but we have had impact in a lot of high stake projects, both just by running a workshop, other by actually running the full project, and everything in between. And we sell with knowledge. Knowledge is our key asset, and having the overview of what's available out there, what's possible, how to move forward, and so on. And I think that's the biggest difference we have had for customers over time. But there are times when we have failed, and maybe failed spectacularly as well, because the customer expected something we could not give, which is us taking over the full IT for them. We are really dependent to have someone to hand over the knowledge to. So we are dependent of working with a competent IT department or helping a competent partner that can take our knowledge and take our tips and tricks and take over the infrastructure when we are done. We are dependent on that. So we are just enablers and blocker removers, but we cannot make the success for our customers. We can do it with our customers.
So you worked as a information technology consultant for 2+ years. So how that experience is helping you in your present job?
I think all my experiences since I did retail sales, which means I then now I know how to do sales. I did business to business sales as well back like 15 years ago, which I kept throughout my career, and helped sell technology as a consultant as well. And all my different experiences, the different projects I've been part of, the different environments I've been working in, all of those play into my experience today. So when I'm as a public speaker, talk about technology, talk about the possibilities, I always have that history of I know how stuff works. I know when if it fails in a project, or how to stop an escalation going too far and taking a step back and calming everything down. I think that's a very important knowledge to have. So absolutely, I couldn't have been where I am today without having had the journey I've been on. And I think maybe the biggest lesson learned is knowing how to communicate in different situations. And you can only learn that by seeing how others do it, and take what worked and what didn't work and move that forward. I think when you are, what I also have seen is that you should prepare for the worst. You should prepare for things failing spectacularly. So when they do, you're just prepared and not surprised. I think maybe that's one of the things I've learned throughout the years is to prepare for that. So when everything falls apart, we were prepared for that. We know how to handle it. We know how to escalate it so it doesn't go too far. What I mean with too far is that if you have an incident or you need to get some clarifications or something like that, you make sure you are available to do that and available to handle those situations. Because if you try to let them pass, worst case, the whole project may blow up and you're booted right out of there. So to land those discussions, those conflicts, if there are any conflicts, to land those discrepancy as soon as possible, I think is really, really important.
Starting from bachelor's degree of yours, you did it in computer science. Uh, Today, from that to this position, today you own your own company and you are providing the services and uh, you are matching the requirements and the services that you have and solving the problems. So, what you understood in this time of you, the complete technology experience of yours, what do you understand about the connectivity between human and technology?
I think part of my bachelor degree was not just computer science. It was a lot more. It was project management. It was more, of course, on math and all that. But you learn to learn. I think that's the main thing you learn as a bachelor. You learn how to learn, and not just the technology. That's the difference I see between those who have a bachelor degree or master's degree or something like that. They are better at the abstract thinking around projects and how to work together with other people in groups, rather than those who went straight into the technology and focus on that. They are super good, of course, but they are very, very focused on that technology. And I see that those who have typically a bachelor degree or that kind of degree are more better at functioning in groups, in projects, maybe as project managers even, because of that background they got early. And but it is a skill you can learn, I think, to interact with humans. If you want to say it like that, it's always something you can learn, and but you need to be open to learn it. I think I am a introvert person, and even though I'm a public speaker and all that, I'm still an introvert person, and I always wanted to become a public speaker. So I practiced for that. I've been practicing for over 10 years, and I'm still practicing because it doesn't come natural to me. So and the way to become a project manager or to become someone who leads a company, that's something you can learn, but you need to work on it and train on it as often as you can. But it's a skill that's possible to learn, I believe.
So, how fast you are able to understand the physical infrastructure of a company and match it with the cloud services? How much time you take? How much time you take? Cloudway take.
It is kind of a difficult question because I would say when we do assessments, the assessments last a couple of days. So that's the max time we say. But the advantage of working with cloud technology is that when you understand it, there are not that many ways of doing it, which means your options are your option is to get to that place where you can integrate with it or use it or migrate to it, which means that the goal is the same. So it's very easy for us to say earlier on where you are and where you are not. So for instance, as I said, when we do an assessment, they last for between 1 and 5 days, depending on what kind of assessment we do. But yeah, that's the time it takes us to understand where they are. But there are of course many in-betweens in here. I would say still though, the cloud has made it a lot easier for us. But we have talked to a lot of customers. We have seen a lot of scenarios play out, and that's experience we of course use when we are assessing environments and customers.
So you're already doing your work. So why you want to do YouTube? What you're learning from it?
YouTube is me trying to practice public speaking. And I don't know if you have seen Jason Silva. He is a futurist. He is very passionate about talking about philosophy and technology. And I was very inspired by him when I started my YouTube channel. I think I started my YouTube channel like 8 years ago or something, and I've been on and off doing YouTube whenever I find the passion to do something, and you can see it on my channel as well. I'm evolving my videos, and I think it's a great medium to get the message out there. And for my goal is to explain it in an infotainment way, approachable way, and for you to understand something new and get almost as passionate as I am about technology or a thinking or a productivity methodology, which I am really passionate. These days, I'm talking about digital well-being in Microsoft 365. I have created some explaining videos on it, and I'm now doing some deep dive videos on it. So I recommend to check that out if you get the time to dive into like how you can become happy in your life by using technology the right way.
Great, and you are also a co-author of Office 365 for ITP book. What is that? Why you want to be a part of a book?
That's me trying to stay up to date and force myself to stay up to date on technology. That's a book that's updated on a monthly basis. It's called Office 365 for IT pros. And I write just one chapter out of like 20 chapters. We are 7 or 8 MVPs writing that book. Every month we are updating it. So it stays up to date as the cloud updates, because the cloud updates on a monthly basis, or it almost feels like a daily basis. And we're trying to make sense of it and put it in a context and write that book. And I've been part of that group now for 4 or 5 years. So I've been doing it like on a monthly basis. End of each month, I have written a abstract for the book or a section for the book or updated some wrong information. And it's a great way for me to stay up to date and force that update. So yeah, I'm dependent on paying attention, and it's also a way for me to stay interested in the technology, because it's very detailed. It's a lot going on, and if you're not using it for anything, then you will fall behind quickly. I'm using it for something, so I need to stay up to date. So that's keeps me interested in it, and then I will use that knowledge through my talks, through my workshops, through the work I do with customers as well. That I am updated on the latest information in the ever-changing cloud.
So there are three communication mediums with which human communicates with the world, and you are using all the three: writing book, and you started your life career as a blogger, writing without showing your physical appearance, like without physical presence, and you're able to create impact with the technology knowledge that you have. You're sending your knowledge through your blog, and through you started YouTube now, and you're putting yourself out, and you're presenting it. You're telling about Office 365 in order to convey or tell the knowledge that you have, and audio, which includes. So, can I say you're using yourself, your time efficiently and effectively in order to contribute yourself 100%?
Yeah, that's part of the key actually to staying an MVP as well. You learn something and then you try to use the same knowledge in different mediums. Some likes to read blog posts, others like to listen, others like to watch YouTube videos, others want to go to conferences in person and learn from you. And I try to use the knowledge I have and spread it across those platforms. And so if you learn something, and don't try to limit yourself by just doing one medium. Try to do the same on all mediums, because you will meet different type of people. And the world is so small that if they have listened to you on YouTube and meet you in person, that's just a bonus. That should almost not happen, right? And that's the key to reusing the knowledge. I'm trying to convey the same type of information across those platforms.
So, what you want to do with Cloudway in coming days, as a cloud architect, as a leader, as a project manager? So, what you want to, I mean, what kind of impact that you want to create, and what kind of problems that you want to solve in the world, in the technology world?
In the world, I want the world to be a happy place. So please keep the peace. And that I think that's reflected in my digital well-being thinking. If people become more happy, they become more approachable, better collaborators, and more creative, and it will then help other people become more happy, because happy people tend to make other people happy and smile, and then there's like a positive spiral. That's my goal, really. And what kind of technology we will be working with, I have no idea, because it will change so fast. But I will make sure I will be working, and Cloud will be focusing on whatever technology is useful for us and our customers. Right now, it's Microsoft 365. Microsoft launched the employee experience with Viva, so we will expand on that. But as long as it's within our core competency, we will absolutely go in that direction. For Cloudway and growing, I don't think we will grow much more, not as fast as we have done the past year. I think we will slow down. It's all about organic growth. And I'm actually very happy where we are at right now. It's a good group of people. It's 10 people, which is still manageable for me as a CEO. And but we are diverse enough in order so that we can help all customers on all scenarios in Microsoft 365. And I'm very happy that we are gotten to that place, that we have subject matter experts in all areas, so that regardless of what we do, we can move the project forward. We can figure out how the customer best can succeed with the technology. And as a empathic CEO and empathic leader, my goal now is to help my team be the best they can be. Put them in position where they can shine, where they can expand maybe their personal growth, put them in a position where they can collaborate with other partners, situations they necessarily wouldn't have access to if they have been working at another company. So I would like to enable them as much as I can, and to see how happy people get when you are doing meaningful work and have an engaging workday. So yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
Do you have any particular problems that you want to solve with Cloudway?
The problem we want to solve is knowledge, the knowledge gap, and help companies work as smart as possible. What I see personally is that so many now have access to the technology, but they're using it like it's 1995. They're using it like you had only Outlook available, and you have Teams, you have Viva in order to help you reserve time during your workday, so you don't have to work off hours. We see that now people, I would say, if you look at the smartphone, for instance, I would say the smartphone is in its youth now, not in its childhood. Like the 2010 to 2020 was the smartphone's childhood, because we had consumer apps, and there was an app for everything, right? Now those apps are becoming enterprise grade, which means that it's not optional anymore. And when it gets too overwhelming, you cannot opt out the same way as you can with consumer apps. Like, okay, I'm logging off WhatsApp, I'm logging off Facebook, I'm logging off whatever consumer app there is. If you log off those enterprise applications, you will actually become less productive in your workplace and a less valuable employee. And as an employer, that's not me making you the best version of yourself. So to succeed with and embracing the new way of working smarter in Microsoft 365, that's my personal mission. And that's what we enable our customers to do as Cloudway, because we make sure they can use that technology and get there within the security and compliance requirements of IT and the regulations they have, so that they can get to the modern platform and work in a modern and smarter way. And that's my passion.
So you saw the technology evolution. You saw how you started from bachelor's degree in computer science. Today, you saw the most advanced technology, cloud services. So you are seeing the change that happened in the IT industry. So what is your observation? How the next generation or next coming years, the IT technology is how it is going to uh, create impact on human beings?
I think we are at an impasse right now. We have been able to survive technology by like learning by going, learning by doing. I think now, regardless of how old you are, if you are like 50 years old or 20 years old and just started in the with your professional career, people need to work in a way we haven't worked before. I think that's the biggest impact right now. So I think you will see a big difference between those who get it and those who doesn't get it. And those who doesn't get it, they will have a hard time keeping their jobs. I'm not saying they will get fired. I'm just saying that, oh, I think I need to change job because now I'm so busy over here. And I think if I change job, then I will get less busy. But that's not true, right? You will probably get equally as busy on the new job after some time. And I think that's the biggest change now. The technology have come so far that we need to change some fundamental things between how we work together. I think what Microsoft says with the hybrid workplace is now the biggest challenge. I agree with that, because we jumped a couple of years ahead in the future by being forced to work from home, and enough people have realized it was possible before as well, but enough people have realized that hey, I can work in a different way. I don't have to commute for 4 hours every day to do my job. I can do it just as well from home or just as well from where I am. And I think that's the hybrid paradox, really, where people want to go to the office, but they also want to work remote or from where they are. And that's also the great reshuffle, just to use all like the branch words at the moment. But the great reshuffle then is that you will start at the or quit at the company you are at and start at a company that fits your philosophy better. If you want to work a bit from home and a bit from the office, and the current company just wanted you to be in the office, then maybe you want to find another employer that fits your view of the world and your philosophy better, and vice versa. If I don't want to work from home, I only want to work in the office, but your current employer says, nah, you'll probably be like 50% remote or something. It's like, that doesn't work for me, so I will switch then to another company. So that's a great reshuffle, right? We are reshuffling and figuring out what we want to do and the way we want to work. And I think the biggest change is that enough people now are realizing it at the same time, and that's a big challenge as well, together with the new technology that is available, and you can use it in a totally different way than you have done up until now today.
So finally, what do you want to say about Cloudway to the people who are listening to this conversation from anywhere on this planet through podcast or YouTube channel?
Use Cloudway to remove blockers for you to get started with, especially Microsoft 365. We share a lot of content with the community. We post it on the website so that you can see what our people are doing. I think that's the biggest contribution we can do to the world, is to help people understand technology better so that they can get started using it. Be it working smarter in Microsoft 365, doing endpoint management correct, what kind of compliance solutions should you choose for Microsoft 365, or how to succeed with Microsoft Teams and telephony and meetings. There is a lot of content on our website shared by our employees. It's not produced on our website. And I think last year we were part of like 60 community events during a year, and that was when we were all remote. And that's the amount of content we share as a group of enthusiasts, really, technology enthusiasts.
I can see two events that are coming up. I saw in your site.
Yes.
What are those?
So it's very interesting, actually, because we have a part of our MVPs and our employees. I think half of us are attending a conference called Nordic Virtual Summit, which is later this week in March 2022, and that's a community event, no profit event that parts of my employees and a group of other enthusiasts are hosting. It's a virtual free event, and that's what happens when you enable people to do what they want to do and find the passion for doing. Stuff like that can happen. And then we have a couple of Microsoft organized Discover workshops where Microsoft have asked us to share. These are with the Norwegian audience. What's great with Teams and what's great with Viva, and help the Norwegian market understand those technologies. So some of these are like what we do as community enthusiasts, and others are what Microsoft asks us to do as a company. Very interesting mix, and yeah, that's what you see on our website. What are the next events we will be at?
I'll put your website link on the screen as well as in the description of this video. People who finds our video on YouTube can see it and can see the services that you're providing and can also see the events that are going on.
Thanks.
And what do you, as a founder, as a CEO of a company, and as a person who is into cloud, what do you say about my work? Have you seen any videos of mine on YouTube? And what do you say about my questioning in this conversation?
You're good at getting me to talk about myself, which is then easy to have a long conversation about. And I see that with other videos you have as well. Interesting questions, but very open-ended questions, so that I can talk about whatever I want about myself and what I'm passionate about. So when you get people like me going, we can talk for a long time. So I think that's a good trick.
So I started as a blogger. Now I became a blogger. I have websites. I used to write about technology, what I learned. I did masters in software engineering and bachelor's in computer science and engineering, and I did AWS cloud architect. Uh, trained. I got trained recently. So trying to understand like experts like you, what is going on in the IT industry from different parts of the planet, how people are solving problems, like founders like you, how you started, where you started and where you went and what made you to make things possible. Trying to put it and show to the world so that you will be inspiring and also you can make somebody to do the same and be the reason of be the reason for their smile and also be the problem solver for them.
Absolutely, and I think your podcast shows that if you ask, you can either get a no or a yes. So just ask, right?
Yeah.
And you have talked to a lot of different people and diverse people all around the world. Super impressing, and yeah, just ask.
So whenever you're free, try to watch my videos, and I hope you reach all around the world. You got a great success in just 5 years. I hope you create more projects and solve a lot of problems.
Thank you very much.
Can I put this video on my YouTube channel with your permission?
Sure.
And also, can I put this audio and video clip on my podcast, website, internet, social media, everywhere with your permission?
Yes, and tag me so I can like amplify it.
Yeah, I'll share all your web links in the description. People can see it.
Yep.
Thank you, still. Keep going. Keep doing what you love.
Thank you too, and good luck moving forward.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.